Epic Games went ahead and violated App Store and Google Play Store policy by selling their e-bucks, whatever you want to call them, for if they don't buy them in the App Store, then they get like 20% off.
Right.
And that could be pretty significant.
Yeah.
And of course, people did it. And then within hours, Google and Apple pulled the apps from the App Store. Immediately after, Epic Games had a lawsuit queued up against Apple. Basically, this whole antitrust thing that's been going on. With all the between Amazon and stuff like that. So this is just another thing to add on to Apple's walled garden of that people have been complaining about for a long time. A lot of developers don't want to pay the 30%, right? And so, so all in all, now we're here, and Apple has been responding by now they're going to pull Epic's it's become this big thing. We can get more into like how the story's developed over time, but this has been a big thing for a while, with this whole 30% and there's lots of opinions. I've been hearing both sides of the story, what both people are thinking. I've heard why, it's Apple's stuff. It's their thing. They're a private company. They have the right to do it. It's always been 30%. I've heard other people say, now, the 30% was initially designed for maintenance, and they're pulling in billions and billions and billions, and it wasn't really designed for this model. But now I heard this theoretical court question, the judge saying when they go to court and they're in it, right? Epic has the ability to stop all this. Like, they could just work with Apple, talk it out, but instead they're kind of making this a big public fiasco, right? And when I read that question, I was like, you know what, that's a really good point, because at the end of the day, it's like Epic's the one that is technically causing this. Like, they were fine before, and they could stop this at any time. So why is it that they're doing this? So I thought that question was pretty interesting. But I'm curious on your thoughts on just the kind of that news story as a whole. What your opinion is on that whole thing.
Why would they say that or do this kind of thing? To me, is just to get Apple to, or actually stick up for other developers, really. I would say trying to get the percentage down, bringing this in the forefront to show people, hey, Apple's charging 30% for all developers that want to be on the App Store. Is it that? But per se, I don't know, but it could be for them to go ahead and do this kind of thing. Why else would they keep a lawsuit ready in their back pocket and violate on purpose to bring a lawsuit up?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, they had it queued up.
Right. So I don't understand why they wouldn't, if it's not something to be like, hey, let's bring this to the forefront for other developers and see if we can actually be that voice to speak.
Yeah, at first I thought it was that, but then it's kind of like, I think what they're doing, maybe there's just me thinking that they're so there's a bit of a history with Epic right now with kind of the stuff that they've been doing between their Epic Game Store and stuff. So I know they're really trying to push a stronger business model, become more independent.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they can use that as an excuse to piggyback off of, but I think it's just like they just want that 30% or more of the money that they could be making off of their game. They're clearly not struggling. I think they're worth.
There's worth $17.3 billion.
Is it worth $17.3 billion?
Yes, and with that number, with $17.3 billion, if you think about it, with that kind of net worth, a lot of the developers that are on iOS or with Google, whatever, they're not worth like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, no.
So Epic can actually take that stab and be like, well, if it fails, it fails. But we also have a huge following.
Yeah. If Fortnite for them dies, it wouldn't die. They're still playing it on PC. This is the thing I don't.
Well, it's not just PC. You got to think about it. They're still playing on Xbox and they're still playing on PlayStation. So it's really not going to hurt them that much.
Yeah, I don't think
honestly.
It will.
Yeah. And here's the other thing that this show does for Epic, in my opinion, what it does. It makes Apple look like the bad guy. It makes Epic look like a hero.
Right.
You know what I mean? So what's going to happen is that if in my thinking, if this lawsuit goes through, even if Epic loses, this is going to be a story of, to me, is like Robin Hood, right?
Right. Especially when Apple today just hit $2 trillion.
Yeah. It's
like the big bad evil company that all these PC people don't like. Nobody likes Apple because they're evil, but everybody likes Apple because they make great products. I never understood.
Yeah.
And now you got they're $17.3 billion.
Yeah.
They're $1 billion company.
Yeah.
They're fine, but
Their
relatively.
worth, their worth it's huge. But again, they can still be considered Robin Hood because what? Robin Hood was rich, right?
Right.
And so he was the rich guy stealing from the rich for the poor.
No, Robin Hood wasn't rich. Was Robin Hood rich?
Yeah, he was.
Was Robin Hood a rich guy?
Yeah.
I thought Robin Hood was just an archer. Oh, I typed in Robin Hood.
Well, according to the Kevin Costner movie, I apologize. It was.
Oh,
I'm going off of that, so
gotcha,
I apologize
gotcha.
if I'm not going off of the history of Robin.
He was an outlaw.
Yeah, but according to the Kevin Costner movie of Robin Hood, yeah,
The metaphor still holds,
yeah.
regardless.
So it's this is another. But for this instance, let's just go with yours. Saying
Mhm.
Robin Hood's not rich. For this instance, it's in terms of richness and technology. What is it? Middle ground richness for
I
Epic?
would say relative to how much money Apple has in the bank, just ignoring
Well, then they're
their
poor.
market cap.
I mean,
yeah, they're
everyone's
poor. Yeah,
poor.
they're poor folk. Yeah,
Yeah.
except Bezos.
So
He's-
I
there it
mean,
is.
so
every
they're,
episode, I'm going to do that plug. Keep going.
and this is why your Amazon packages get delayed.
Actually, they've been like really fast lately.
Gee, I wonder why.
Hey, if Bezos is listening, maybe he's trying to make me happy. Maybe
So-
he wants a good review.
So yeah, it's just them. It's them giving back to the poor, and then the people are gonna get on board with Epic. They're gonna be fine.
Oh yeah, I think
They're gonna be fine.
I think they're going to be just fine. And you know what? Even if it goes